So this is the book that I've shared in your group as well, and this is chapter 3. It is called Writing's Basics. We have been talking about it time and again, but today we are going to look at the language that they have given, in which we can analyze the language for being informal or formal, right? As you have identified that in my spare time, comma, there is no personal pronoun, which makes the understanding very problematic. That's why we need to analyze the write-up this way. So in your examination or your quiz, I can give you certain prompts to write on. First you write on them, and then you identify whether you have missed anything that is not according to the standard version or not. Or maybe I can give you a standardized paragraph and I ask you to write it in the informal matter. So you will have to do that. Now you can see that SP लिखा हुआ है, right? Tense तो आप समझते हैं. SP means spelling mistake है. और fragments जो होते हैं, there are types of sentences which I might have already mentioned. Fragments होते हैं जहाँ पूरी तरह से sentence complete नहीं होता. Fragment का meaning होता है piece, टुकड़े टुकड़े होना, right? Fragments होते हैं, and then run-on sentences होते हैं कि पिछला sentence ख़त्म नहीं होता और अगला start हो जाता. That is a run-on sentence. For example, she really understands me. We've been friends since 10. Now these should be two tenses clearly stating that she really understands me and we have been friends since we were 10. Then the separate thoughts are separated. Otherwise they are running on each other. Run on means कि एक दूसरे के ऊपर आके उनका accident हो गया. So we have to eradicate such things. So यहाँ से आप देखें कि इस तरह से ये इन्होंने किया हुआ है. नीचे एक sample rubric दिया हुआ है that tells us what kind of score one person might get out of it, right? अगर आप इसी तरह से रखेंगे तो grading criteria में did the student follow the assignment directions? No, they did not, right? And their write-up is not up to the mark. Then main idea, does the paper clearly state a strong main point written in the complete sentence? No, it does not. That's why you're going to get 0 out of it. तो ये एक rubric दिया हुआ है कि इसमें क्या problems है और उन्हें कैसे बेहतर किया जा सकता है. Now adding a detail. This is actually attached to paragraph writing. Paragraph writing में we have topic sentence, then we have supporting details, then we have elaboration, which is achieved by coherence markers, and we have conclusion, right? So this is the second paragraph in which we are going to talk about how to add details, while we are going to analyze this paragraph for being not complete, having fragments, run-on sentences, grammatical issues or spelling issues. In my spare time, comma, I enjoy talking with my friend Karen, full stop. I know Karen since we 10. I know Karen since we 10. What's wrong with it?
It doesn't kind of sense. Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. How can we make it correct?
I know Karen since me. What?
Since I know. Since I know.
Since I know. I know Karen since we 10.
I know Karen since we.
Or
I know Karen since we were 10 years old.
We were 10.
Okay, I know Karen since we were 10 years old and we have grew up together. अब उन्होंने लिखा हुआ growed up. Growed is not a word, right? So that is a tensile problem. And we have been through many things together, full stop. Like a sister, full stop. Now this is a fragment. Fragment is a tukra, a piece of something. So it's not a complete sentence. It's a fragment sentence. It needs more information to complete it grammatically and otherwise. Right? So इस तरह से आपको पैराग्राफ दिया जा सकता है जिसमें आपने एनालिसिस करके दिखाना होगा. Do you think you can do that? हो जाएगा, इतना मुश्किल नहीं है, right? We can talk about anything. Sometimes we talk about problems, money problems, problems with men. Now money problems, comma, problems with men. It's also a fragment. It's not complete in its sense, right? अब अगर इसको properly बनाना था तो it should have been sometimes we talk about problems such as money and men problems. Full stop. उसको कंपाउंड बना देते और इकट्ठा लेके आते, लेकिन उन्होंने वो प्रॉब्लम्स देखे कितनी दफ़ा वर्ड यूज़ हुआ है, 1 2 3 3 दफ़ा उन्होंने रेपिटेशन आ गई. रेपिटेशन लीव्स योर राइट अप टू बी वेरी प्रॉब्लमैटिक फॉर सम रीडर्स टू रीड. जितनी रेपिटेशन होती है बंदा कहता है ये बार बार क्यों आ रहा है, क्या बात हो रही है. रेपिटेशन उसी केस में होनी चाहिए व्हेन वी आर ट्राइंग टू एम्फसाइज ऑन समथिंग वेयर इट इज़ रिक्वायर्ड, विच इज़ वेरी रेयर बाय द वे. When I was in abusive relationship, for example, this is also a fragment. For example के बाद आगे information होनी चाहिए जो कि missing है.
मैम जो आगे information है वो अपनी मर्जी की डालेंगे.
वो हाँ वो आप अपनी मर्ज़ी के डालेंगे. मैं आपको ऐसा पैराग्राफ दूंगी जिसमें वो इन्फॉर्मेशन होगी जिसको आप कर पाएंगे, वो आपसे होगा. नाउ वी बोथ हैव चिल्ड्रन एंड वी टॉक अबाउट हाउ टू रेज देम. थिंग्स आर डिफरेंट. Now spelling mistake is there, SP, right? Then is a spelling mistake, and of course the word choice mistake भी है कि यहाँ पर दूसरा वाला then आना है, then नहीं आना, right? When we were kids, talking now tense का mistake है यहाँ पे. Talking with a good friend, it is suggested never start a sentence with a verb like this, talking to a friend, and especially वो ये कहते हैं कि write up में talk का word तो आप लाए ही मत करें. You should say stated, mentioned, illustrated or something like that. Talking with a friend, good friend helps me make good decisions and patience. अब ये भी पूरा नहीं है, इसमें भी प्रॉब्लम है. Especially now that my son is a teenager. आगे क्या कहना है? Information missing है. We also talk about fun things like what we're going to do, what we were going to do. Punctuation का issue है on this weekend. Then we have a run-on sentence. When clothes we buy, what clothes do we buy? तो यहाँ पर sentence पिछला पूरा हुआ नहीं और अगला start कर दिया, तो that is a run-on sentence. We tell each other good jokes and make each other laugh. These conversations are as important as talking about problems. Now let's have a look at the rubric. जो analysis का rubric यहाँ पर available है. Appropriateness को देखें तो yes, it is appropriate. It does follow the directions that were given. मेन आइडिया की बात करें तो मेन आइडिया को फोकस किया जा रहा है. चाइल्डहुड के बारे में बात हो रही है और फ्रेंड्स के बारे में बात हो रही है. सपोर्टिंग डिटेल्स की बात की जाए, इज़ द मेन आइडिया डेवलप विद स्पेसिफिक सपोर्ट इंक्लूडिंग स्पेसिफिक डिटेल्स एंड एग्जांपल्स. पार्शियली येस, पार्शियली नॉट, राइट. कहीं कहीं पे फ्रेगमेंट सेंटेंसेज हैं, रन ऑन सेंटेंसेज हैं जो कंप्लीट नहीं हुए. दैट्स वाई वी डोंट नो कि आगे सपोर्टिंग डिटेल में क्या आर्ग्यूमेंट ऐड होने वाला है. The paragraph has more support and detail than paragraph 1 does, but it could use more. That's the problem. So they have given 5 out of 10. Then organization की बात करें, is the writing logically organized? Does the student use transitions? Also, for example, sometimes and so on to move to the next point. Yes, sometimes कहीं ना कहीं पे partially the student has used the transitional markers in order to make sense of the entire paragraph. Then हर पैराग्राफ का इस तरह से उन्होंने एनालिसिस दिया हुआ है. दिस इज़ अ वेरी गुड बुक इफ़ यू आर स्टार्टिंग अप. अगर आप इंग्लिश को एक दफ़ा से दोबारा जीना चाहते हैं तो दिस इज़ अ वेरी गुड बुक बाय सूजन एंकर विच हैज़ बिन शेयर्ड इन द ग्रुप. आई कैन शेयर इट अगेन. यहाँ से आप ये एग्जांपल्स इनके एनालिसिस के साथ देख सकते हैं, ठीक है. फिर हमारे पास है कंक्लूडिंग सेंटेंस. इन्होंने यहाँ लिखा हुआ है दिस इज़ अ गुड पैराग्राफ, लेट्स रीड इट टुगेदर. वी विल नो कि यहाँ पर किस किस्म की लैंग्वेज, बिकॉज वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट फॉर्मल, इनफॉर्मल, एकेडमिक, क्रिएटिव, सब्जेक्टिव एंड ऑब्जेक्टिव राइटिंग एट द मोमेंट, राइट. नाउ लेट्स analyze this paragraph for these things that we have been talking about. In my spare time, I enjoy talking with my friend Karen. We have been friends since we were 10, so we have grown up together. For example, मैंने यहाँ पर कहा था कि we grew up together, but we have grown up together is a better choice. We have been through many things, both good and bad, in our lives, and we understand each other without having to explain the background of any situation. We have talked about our various problems throughout the years. Long ago, most of our problems were with our parents who tried to control us too much. We would plan how to get around the rules we did not like. Over the years, we have often talked about our relationships with men, which we call the good, the bad and the ugly. Now this information was not there in those paragraphs, right? So it has been added, and you can see there are quotation marks as well. When I was in an abusive relationship, Karen helped me see that it wasn't good for me. She helped me get out of it and over it. She helped me move on and value myself when I felt low. Now we talk often about our children and how to raise them right. For example, my son is now a teenager and sometimes I can't control him just as my parents couldn't control me. Karen helps me think of the ways to get through to him without losing my temper. Also, we have always been able to make each other see the humor in whatever is going on. We tell each other good jokes, we make fun of people who are unfair to us, and we have a whole language of fun. These conversations are as important as ones that help solve problems. Throughout my life, talking with Karen has helped me keep me on a good path, and I truly enjoy talking with her. Now you can find some non-standardized things, elements in the paragraph. Can you identify? सबसे पहले क्या आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे, क्या इसमें फॉर्मेलिटी में क्या कमी है यहाँ पे? Academicness.
There is lot of use of
I, yes, it makes it very subjective. The paragraph is very subjective and personal. There is no evidence, no reference. Even if the quotation marks are there, we don't know what the reference is. Although it's a movie, I have seen a movie which is called this, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, right? बट वो लेटर ऑन आ सकती है, ये फिल्म ये बुक तो हो सकता है पहले लिखी गई हो, इट डिपेंड्स. तो रेफरेंस अब मैंने बिल्ड किया अपने बैकग्राउंड नॉलेज में, आपने कुछ और किया होगा. यस, आपके लिए सिर्फ ये 3 एडजेक्टिव्स होंगे, गुड, बैड एंड अगली, राइट? तो हमें नहीं पता कि रेफरेंस क्या है, ये उन दोनों को पता है. दैट इज़ वाई इट इज़ ऑल्सो सब्जेक्टिव राइटिंग, पर्सनल राइटिंग है. और बताएं इसमें क्या कमी है? Can you see contractions? Contractions have been used which are not part of formal writing. जैसे can't है, ठीक है, यहाँ पर can't कहीं पे लिखा हुआ है, didn't लिखा हुआ है, wasn't लिखा हुआ है. तो these are attributes towards the informal language. ये usually spoken language के attributes होते हैं कि आपने continuity में बोलना होता है, fluency में बोलना होता है. That is why you use I can't instead of I cannot, right? तो ये सारी चीज़ें इसको इनफॉर्मल भी बनाती हैं, नॉन एकेडमिक भी बनाती हैं और सब्जेक्टिव भी बनाती हैं. लेट्स से इफ़ आई गिव यू दिस पैराग्राफ टू राइट इन ए objective manner, can you do that? Yes, you can talk about it this way, that there were 2 friends, Karen and Falana, they had very good etc., and then you can go on about it. You have to eradicate the contractions, any personal usage, any expression that you think is not academic. For example, यहाँ पर कहीं पे लिखा हुआ है I can't control him, just my parents couldn't control me. Now control is repetitive. You can have another structure for it. You can simply say that Karen couldn't handle her children, full stop, simple. अभी किसी ने मुझसे पूछा था क्लास में कि कोई बता रहा था कि फॉर्मल राइटिंग में कॉम्प्लेक्स सेंटेंसेस होती हैं. नॉट एट ऑल, नॉट नेसेसरली. इन टेक्निकल राइटिंग, in official writing, you can have simple structures which is actually conveying the whole meaning. That's the point. Technical writing का मकसद ही यही होता है that you write in a manner that anybody or everybody who reads it, they can make sense of it, they can make meaning out of it. अगर हम उसमें बहुत सारे terminologies या ऐसे specific expressions use कर देंगे जो कि मे बी कॉमन लोगों को नहीं पता या पढ़ने वाले को, ऑडियंस को नहीं पता, that will be a problem. So now do you understand what kind of a quiz you could have?
Yes,
Or in examination, what can I ask you to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? This chapter is available. Please feel free to go through it, and if you find anything difficult, you can ask me. Right? आगे भी देखें वो analysis chapter review पे चला गया. Yes, it's finished. Then we have we talked about a few days ago skimming and scanning. I hope you remember what are those. Did we talk about this chapter as well? No? All right, skimming and scanning, let me give you a real revisit to what these 2 concepts are. Skimming is the gist of the entire text that you're reading, in which you just summarize it, take the main points and talk about it generically. Scanning, on the other hand, is for the specific details. You're looking for specific information in the text. A text could be of 12 lines and you're supposed to look for a date or a person or some incident that has been taking place in the text, and you have to look for that. In your childhood or in your FSC, ICS, HSSC, or whatsoever degree you have done so far, you must have done matriculation. You had one question, that was comprehension passage. Do you remember? You had a passage and there were follow-up questions, maybe 10 to 12 questions or sometimes 5 questions as well, and you're supposed to give it a title as well, give the summary and tell us what is the information about. Or maybe sometimes बहुत directly question पूछा जाता है जो text में ही होता है. हम क्या करते हैं, हम text में से जो relevant information होती है उसको simply उसी तरह से jot down कर लेते हैं. That is not the purpose of comprehension passages. Comprehension passages must be comprehended. Comprehension means understanding. Once you understand, you must utilize your own language. You cannot just take the language that is in front of you and copy paste it in the answer. That is the wrong way of doing comprehension passages. Maybe in your school system or school days somebody has told you कि ना ये तो ऐसे कर देना. In university you can't do this. For my course it's not going to happen. If you have a comprehension passage, you have a follow-up questions, you must answer the question in your own word. And of course you're going to read from the text that has been given you, but you're going to use your own language structure for that. So that is the basics that I want you to understand. In this particular topic, we are going to talk about how to alienate main ideas from supporting details. It's the same like we did for the topic sentences in paragraph writing, but reading maybe it is important to know what is the main topic and what are the supporting details to it. एक एग्जाम्पल मैं आपको दिखाऊंगी, ये देख सकते हैं आप, ये इसको पढ़ें अगर आप देखिए, every day you read and understand what you read. You read text messages from your friends, you read signs, get information online, read about people or things that interest you, follow the instructions in manuals and recipes. पढ़ते हैं, बहुत कुछ पढ़ना पड़ता है, right? When you read for yourself, do you read differently than when you read for a class? How? Can you answer the question? एक तो है ना अपने लिए पढ़ना है, वो डिफरेंट है, आपको मैंने कहा है कुछ पढ़ के आए, तो आप दोनों की जो स्ट्रेटजीज होती हैं डिफरेंट होंगी. यस, आप जो सेकंड स्ट्रेटजी फॉर द क्लास थिंग होगी, दैट इज़ गोइंग टू बी मोर फॉर्मल, एकेडमिक, लेस पर्सनल. यू आर गोइंग टू मेक श्योर दैट यू डोंट मेक एनी मिस्टेक्स विच आर नॉट एक्सेप्टेबल, राइट. हाउएवर पर्सनल पढ़ रहे हैं, कोई बाद में ठीक कर लूँगा, देख लूँगा. यस, तो दैट्स द डिफरेंस. उसके बाद आपके पास है कि रीडिंग एक्टिवली, एक होती है रीडिंग. अच्छा, रीडिंग क्या है? कैन यू डिफाइन रीडिंग इटसेल्फ? हाउ वुड यू डिफाइन रीडिंग?
Spelling out something from your mouth.
Okay. All right. Okay, what's the difference between look, watch, see? This is the board, right?
Yes. Watch means if you're watching a foreign television, you can't watch a book.
I might have told you this. I didn't know. What's the difference?
Man, look like.
Look like?
Currently, we are looking at a board. Then watching means on television, something like that, and see.
That's the point. What's the difference between the three? Among the three, by the way. When you have three things, you use among, not between. Yes. Watching, as Hanzala has pointed out, is, purposeful watching. For example, a movie, right? Looking is as if I'm going through here and I look at it. And it's not purposeful, it's just look. And seeing could have a multiple meaning. मैं कहती हूँ ना sometimes class में, I'm seeing you.
Yes, sir.
I'm seeing you. Well, that's a little different. That could have a number of meanings to it. So you see, मैंने बच्चों को बहुत commonly यूज़ करते हुए सुना है, I saw a movie the other day. That's incorrect. You didn't saw it. You watched it. तो watch का ये usage है. Reading जो है वो purposeful होती है. इसी तरह listening में भी difference होता है, listening और hearing में. Do you know the difference?
Listening means किसी की बात को गौर से सुनना.
हाँ.
And listening means you, for example, कि दो बंदे बात करें, just when.
Hearing is when you're passing by and somebody is talking. जैसे अभी बाहर से कोई शोर आ रहा है तो we are hearing it, but we are not listening it. You're trying your best to listen to me, right? Although you have other things to do, you have mobile phones and everything, but you're trying to listen to me. Now, reading actively involves having your thoughts in one place, focusing on the text that is in front of you. First of all, you can underline and highlight the main idea. I'll let you know how to identify. You know, by the way, of course, after reading the text, usually we come to a conclusion कि ये topic किस बारे में. जैसे कैरन वाले पैराग्राफ में हमें पता चल गया कि कैरन किस बारे में बात कर रही है, वो कैसे उन्होंने बच्चे इकट्ठे रेस करने और वो सारे concerns हैं और उसकी बात हो रही है, right? Use another highlighter to show ideas that supports the main idea. सबसे आसान तरीका है कि येलो पेन लें, हाईलाइटर लें और एक रेड लें. येलो से आप मेन आइडियाज़ को आइडेंटिफाई करें और सपोर्टिंग डिटेल्स को रेड से कर लें, तो आपको पता चल जाएगा एक पैराग्राफ में क्या कुछ होता है. पुट अ चेक मार्क in the margin in the places where you find important information and go back to review those places when you finish reading. Put a question mark next to things you do not understand. Sometimes there are things we don't understand, we can put a question mark. So have you ever done reading like this? रीड तो कभी किया ही नहीं, हम स्लाइड्स देखते हैं और निकल लेते हैं. यस, मेरे कोर्स में स्लाइड्स नहीं चलेंगी, यू विल हैव टू रीड. यस, okay. Put an exclamation mark next to ideas or points you do not agree with or you find them surprising, like come on, ये कैसे हो सकता है, right? Write your reactions in the margin. इस तरह से पढ़ने में बहुत एनालिटिक, एक क्रिटिकल रीडिंग आपके सामने आती है. आपको पता चल जाता है कि आपको कौन से एरियाज़ में फोकस करना है और कौन से एरियाज़ में फोकस नहीं करना है. अब अब ये पैराग्राफ देखें, दिस इज़ अ लिटिल डिफ़िकल्ट, लेट्स टॉक अबाउट दिस वन. ओके, अब आपने मुझे इस पैराग्राफ को मैं आपको पढ़ के बताऊंगी. यू हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई द मेन आइडिया आउट ऑफ इट. मेनी पीपल लुक एट मी ब्लैंकली व्हेन आई से आई एम अ वीगन. दे थिंक मे बी इट इज़ अ रिलीजन और सम अनयूजुअल एथनिक बैकग्राउंड, बट अ वीगन इज़ अ नॉर्मल पर्सन, अ वेजिटेरियन हु ईट्स ओनली प्लांट्स एंड प्रोडक्ट्स. Vegans do not eat meat, fish, eggs or milk products. That means I do not eat cheese, yogurt or ice cream among many other milk products. I do not eat anything that comes from a living creature. But that does not make me a weirdo, make me weird or even a difficult dinner guest. I eat all kinds of vegetables, fruits and beans, and I am one of a growing number of people who believe that it is healthier and more humane to eat only plant products because my diet does not have restrictions. I have learned a lot about nutrition and I cannot eat junk food. I am healthy and I am a vegan. So what's the main topic?
Being a vegan.
Being a vegan, somebody who's a vegetarian.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And supporting details क्या हैं कि वो क्या करता है और वो क्या नहीं करता. Right? This is how you identify the main idea and the सपोर्टिंग डिटेल्स. अब इसी पैराग्राफ का अगर आपको स्किम करना हो तो कैसे करेंगे? हाउ विल यू स्किम इट?
थोड़ा सा इधर से पढ़ा, थोड़ा सा इधर से.
यही तो गलती है, हम पूरा पढ़ेंगे. स्किमिंग की एक टेक्निक होती है दैट यू रीड द एंटायर थिंग देन कम अप विद योर पॉइंट्स. इफ़ आई हैड टाइम आई वुड आस्क यू टू डू इट, बट वी डोंट हैव टाइम बिकॉज 25 मिनट ले लिया आपने सब करते हुए, राइट? तो दैट्स ऑल राइट. उसके बाद अगर इसको मैं आपको स्कैन करने के लिए एक इन्फॉर्मेशन दूँ और मैं कहूँ क्वेश्चन हो इसके बाद, व्हाट थिंग्स वीगन्स डू नॉट ईट, तो आप डायरेक्टली उस पॉइंट पे जाएंगे जहाँ पर वो मेंशन कर रहा है कि मैं क्या नहीं खाता. ठीक है, तो ये स्कैनिंग हो जाएगी. यू आर लुकिंग फॉर स्पेसिफिक इन्फॉर्मेशन. जिस्टिंग या स्किमिंग क्या है कि आप पूरे को पढ़ें और इसकी एक समरी पॉइंट बना लें कि ये सारा कुछ है और उसको पैराग्राफ मैटर में ही लिखें. तो यू अंडरस्टैंड मेन आइडियाज़ एंड सपोर्टिंग डिटेल्स को कैसे अलग करते हैं. स्किमिंग एंड स्कैनिंग क्या होती है, एंड दे आर रीडिंग टेक्निक्स. रिमेंबर, दे हेल्प यू रीड बेटर. कोई क्वेश्चन हो तो पूछें. जी,
स्किमिंग तो हो गया, आपने पढ़ लिया पैराग्राफ, उसका कुछ थोड़ा सा निकाल.
थोड़ा नहीं, सारे मेन पॉइंट्स मेंशन होना मैंडेटरी है. कोई भी मेन पॉइंट आप मिस नहीं कर सकते.
स्कैनिंग.
स्कैनिंग में स्पेसिफिक इन्फॉर्मेशन, फॉर एग्जांपल यहाँ पर एक क्वेश्चन दिया हुआ है एंड पे, इज़ ए वीगन पर्सन अ डिफ़िकल्ट डिनर गेस्ट. तो आप डिनर गेस्ट आपके पास, they are of course, but that's your opinion, but you have to take information from here only, right? तो आप डिनर गेस्ट, हमारे पास एक फ्रेज़ है जो हमने टेक्स्ट में से लिए. आप सीधा जाएंगे, सारा नहीं पढ़ेंगे, डिनर गेस्ट को ढूंढेंगे, वो ढूंढेंगे तो वो स्कैन हो जाएगा और वहाँ पर आपको जो इन्फॉर्मेशन चाहिए आप वो लिख सकते हैं. इसकी सिंपलेस्ट एग्जांपल ये हो सकती है कि अगर यहाँ कोई डेट ऑफ बर्थ लिखी हो, कोई डेट लिखी हो और क्वेश्चन में पूछा जाए व्हाट डेट वाज इट, तो आप सीधा डेट देखोगे ना, डिजिट देखोगे, आप बाकी सारा इन्फॉर्मेशन इररिलेवेंट करार दे दोगे. दैट इज स्कैनिंग. जैसे आप मोबाइल से स्कैन नहीं करते हैं, तो दैट्स स्कैनिंग. ठीक है, इसी तरह के पैराग्राफ्स और भी दिए हुए हैं, आप इनको पढ़ सकते हैं. और अगर कुछ समझ ना आए तो आप मेरे से पूछ भी सकते हैं. समझ आ गई? यू श्योर? पूछ लें कुछ. नहीं, अभी नहीं करवाया, करवाती हूँ इंशाल्लाह ना. अब जो अभी ये जो सारा कुछ हमने बात किया उसमें क्रिटिकलिटी है, एनालिटिक पर्सपेक्टिव है. क्रिटिकल रीडिंग क्या होती है कि आप हर चीज़ को हर पर्सपेक्टिव से एनालाइज करें जो इन्फॉर्मेशन वहाँ पे है. What is the purpose? What is the main point? What evidences, explanations and claims have been made? Does the writer use evidence or bias? Whether they are just being personal, जैसे कैरन वाले पैराग्राफ में वो सिर्फ हवाई बातें थी. There is no evidence to support what they was trying to say. However, vegan वाली बात में अगर वहाँ references दिए होते तो they are true, right? What do I think of what I have read? Why specifically? How does what I have learned connect to other things I know? How does it relate to experiences I have ever had?
मैम जो रेफरेंसेस जैसे अभी के मैंने आप कह रहे हैं में कोशिश की लाइक वो रेफरेंस ऐसे हो सकता था कि मतलब कि वो कहता है कि मैं एक दफ़ा ऐसे गया था और वहाँ पे मुझे ऐसे कोई भी ऐसा मसला नहीं हुआ था और मैंने डिनर
Well, that's very personal. The reference should be out of a research article, a booklet, or a magazine that is authentic material. What is authentic material? Which is in the printed form. Right? What questions do I have about either the writer or the information presented, etc. So ये questions आपके mind में आते हैं when you are doing critical reading. So we talked about skimming, scanning, taking main ideas. Apart from the supporting details, we talked about active reading and we talked about critical reading as well. They are very much similar to each other. There are very few things they make them different from each other. The rest उनका जो क्रक्स है, क्रक्स मीनिंग जो पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू है वो एक ही है कि वो आपको रीडिंग टेक्निक यानी आपको पढ़ना सिखा रहे हैं कि आप किस तरह से एक बेहतर रीडर बन सकते हैं. नाउ इफ़ यू हैव एनी